I'm going to show you this new fully automatic 1 block wide tileable autocrafter capable of any crafting recipes made up of stackable items. In this video I'm just going to show you how to build and use this design. If you would like a more technical explanation on how this works or would like to see another design I made, I'm going to make a video on both of those things, which I'll link at the end of this video. If you don't see that there, then I haven't done it yet, and you should subscribe to make sure you don't miss that. If you do see it there, I would still appreciate it if you subscribe, so you should still do that anyway. This crafter is capable of almost all crafting recipes in the game, so it can do simple crafting recipes like this with only one ingredient. That ingredient can also be only stackable to 16. But it can also do crafting recipes with multiple different ingredients, and even complex crafting recipes which require multiple ingredients to be arranged in a certain way to craft the item. Over here I've got the same thing but with a water stream loop going around the top for me to put the items in. Over here I've got barrels with the ingredients in. So let's switch on the crafter and then put in the ingredients for rabbit stew. There we go. So we'll start to see some rabbit stew being crafted by this one. The other ones don't have the rabbit stew crafting recipe in them. They are set to make different things like the iron and snow blocks. We're getting a nice amount of rabbit stew now, so you can see it works fine with the output being a non-stackable item. It's only the ingredients that can't be non-stackable items. You can see the rabbit stew ingredients are only going into the correct hopper. Okay, so let's now add some powered rail ingredients, so let's put that there and break it. So the powered rail one is the first one. There's only one powered rail one as well, so that started crafting powered rails. You can see we're getting a nice amount of powered rails coming out of that. Let's add the next ingredients, which are just iron for the iron blocks, so let's put that in. There we go, load of iron's gone in. We will start getting iron blocks, as you can see. So we're getting iron blocks, rabbit stew and powered rails now. And then let's add in the snowballs for the snow blocks, which are what the rest of the crafters are. These 6 are all the snow block ones, so you can see they're all working at the same time, getting snow blocks out of all of those. So you can see this works really well. It's doing lots of different crafting recipes at the same time. It will not accept the wrong items, and it's pretty quick. This is set up to be as fast as possible for a crafting recipe of 9 items. You could easily add a water stream or something to pick up the items and take them off to a chest or something. I just have them shooting out because it's a good way to show what's going on. Okay, so I'm now going to show you how to build and set up one of these for certain crafting recipes. I don't think it's possible to make a design that repeats every single block, so I've made an alternating design that repeats every 2 blocks. So I'll show you how to build each one of the slices, and then you have to alternate that pattern like this. Once you've decided where you want your crafters to be, you need to place a sticky piston, then an observer on the sticky piston with the dot facing away. Then behind the sticky piston you need a block with a redstone dust on top. Then a repeater coming out of that block set to 4 ticks. That needs to go into another block with a redstone torch on top. You need a block on the redstone torch and a block on the repeater. Then you need another repeater coming out of the redstone torch block, so that'll be powered. And then you need a block on top of redstone dust. So you've made a clock. You'll want to use a lever on the block which the torch stands on to turn it off. Then, 1 block away from the front of the observer, you need to start placing powered rails. Now, however many crafters you want is how many powered rails you need to place. If you want more than 9, the 10th one needs to be replaced by an observer. Then you continue onwards, and then the 20th one would also be an observer. Then, on top of all your powered rails and observers, you need observers with the dot facing upwards like this. 2 blocks behind and 1 block up from these observers, you need to place sticky pistons facing towards the observers. Then 2 blocks above the observers, you need crafters with their weird face facing away from the sticky pistons. You then need a hopper going into the back of each of these crafters. Then you need a hopper going into the top of all the crafters. Then you need a hopper pointing into the back of each of the top hoppers like this. Then you need a full block behind each of those hoppers. Then one block behind and down from those blocks you need to place more blocks. Then on all of those new blocks you need a comparator facing away from the hoppers. One block behind and down from the pistons you need another line of blocks. Then on the end of the comparators you need more blocks. Now we need to start our alternating pattern. So for the first slice what we need to do is place a comparator facing into the back of the piston. Then we need to place a block behind that with a redstone dust on top, which we need to turn into a dot, not a cross. Then we need to place a block on top of this block and a block behind it. Then we need to place a redstone block on top of the comparator. Then we need redstone dust on all three of these blocks. Now the first slice is complete. Now we need to repeat that every 2 blocks. Okay, so those are all done now. Now we need to make the kind that go between all of those. So for this other kind of slice, the first thing I need to do is place a note block above the piston. Then I need to place a block 1 block behind and down from this block here, and then a redstone block behind that. I then need to put redstone dust on those 3 blocks. I need to place a block on top of the comparator, then a redstone dust on the block the comparator powers, then a block on top of that. Then behind this block I need an observer facing downwards like this, with another comparator on it facing backwards like this. Then I need a note block under that observer and an observer coming out of that with its dot facing into this block here. Now that is all done and we need to repeat that along the line. When you repeat this pattern, make sure you don't forget the hidden note blocks in here. Okay, I'm now going to show you how to set up the crafter and the hoppers with the items. So I'm going to set up the first crafter for powered rails. So what you need to do is create the correct arrangement of items in the crafter with all the items being full stacks of that item. And then if there's any empty slots left at the end, you need to lock those slots. So there we go. That's how the crafter needs to be arranged. Now I'm going to take some of these ingredients because we need them for the hoppers. So each of these hoppers needs to include at least 1 stack of each of the ingredients used in the crafting recipe, and then the last stacks, if there's any empty ones, need to be filled with more of one of the ingredients. So you can see I've got a stack of sticks, a stack of redstone dust, a stack of gold ingots, and then I filled the last 2 with more gold ingots. So now that we've done it for that hopper, we need to do the same for the other 2 hoppers. So we're going to put in the same stuff and then do it again for this. So let's just get another stack of gold ingots in there, and there we go. Now those hoppers and that crafter are set up to make powered rails. The next crafter I'm going to set up for rabbit stew. So rabbit stew requires these ingredients. It doesn't matter which order you put them in, but there are some empty slots left at the end, so we need to lock those. I need to take some more of those ingredients actually. In this hopper we need to put a full stack of each of those items, and since there are 5 different items we just put a stack of each one. And then in this hopper back here we need the same thing, and let me do it like this so I've got the items still. There we go. And then in this top hopper here we need the same thing again. So that's now set up for rabbit stew, that set of hoppers and crafter. Okay, hopefully you get this now, but anyway, I'm going to do the iron blocks next. They're really easy. Just fill the whole crafter with iron ingots. Fill all the hoppers with iron ingots. There we go. Last hopper. There we go. This bit is already ready for iron block crafting. Okay, I'm going to set the next crafter up for snow blocks. So for that we just need to make a 2x2 of snowballs, lock the rest, and then fill all the hoppers with snowballs. Like this. Here we go. There we go. I'm gonna set the rest as snow blocks because I don't want any of them to be empty, because those ones will then break because they'll just get full of all sorts of items. Okay, those are all set up now, so all the pistons with a comparator behind them should be extended, which is the case, so we've done all of those right, and the other ones we've probably done right as well. So now we need to place a block on top of each of these observers, covering up the red dot. Now all we need to do is build a water stream to push the items across the hoppers. If you're building this in the nether, you could use ice and a slime block with a piston. I will probably show how to do that in my other video, but in this video I'm just going to show the water stream. First we need to place a block above each of the front hoppers like this. Then we need to place something above the other hoppers to stop the water. This can't be a full block. There's a lot of options for this. I'm going to use fences. You could use something like signs. Now we need to place some blocks at the side here, looping round, and then a bunch of blocks in front of the hoppers. And loop it around the other side as well, like this. Then we need to place blocks around the outside of here to contain the water and the items, like this. There we go, we've now constructed a loop. We're going to use sea pickles to align the items, because if you throw an item against a sea pickle, or if water pushes an item against a sea pickle, you can see this is aligned so it's mostly over these blocks here, but is slightly over the hoppers. That is exactly what we want. We need it to be mostly over this block, so that it will slide on the ice when we have to place an ice block. But it is over the hopper, so it will get picked up. Now we want to replace this block here with a block of compressed ice. Then we want to put something on top of that that has no collision box at all, that will stop the water. I'm going to place a sign here to stop the water. There's a lot of other things you could use. And now if we place the water here, you'll see it doesn't flow that way. Now where the water comes to an end, we need to place an ice block here. Then we need to place another sign or something on it to stop the water, and then place another water beyond that. So this is now flowing around here. We can now place a sign here, place a ice under there. This all needs to be compressed ice, not normal ice. And then we can place another bit of water there, which will flow along. Looks like this is going to work out really well actually. And then another bit of ice. Another sign, and then another bit of water, and it looks like it's going to go around perfectly. Yes, that has worked out absolutely perfectly. I did not intend to do that whatsoever. As the hoppers here are completely full, when I switch this on, there'll be items shooting out already. Yep, there we go. Let me turn off hitboxes. There we go. You can see there's items shooting out already. Ah, there we go. Those ones have stopped because the amount of items in the hopper has gone down a bit. This one's still dispensing though. It will stop soon. Yep, there we go. So now we need to throw some more ingredients in for it to keep working. To test this out, I'm just going to make a little area where I can break the barrels with the items in to drop loads in at once. So what's this barrel? Oh, that's the rabbit stew ingredients. That's powered rails. That's iron blocks, and this will be the snow blocks. There we go, and we should start getting all of them. Yep, here we go. Getting snow blocks, we're getting powered rails, getting rabbit stew, iron blocks there as well. I didn't notice them in comparison to the snow blocks. But yeah, you can see this is working. We're getting lots of items crafted. Once the ingredients start to run out in here, then it will slow down. It won't run out for a while for some of them because the powered rails, the iron blocks and the rabbit stew there's only one crafter for, but you can see all the snow ones have stopped already because all the snow's been used up, all the snowballs. I'm very pleased with this. I mean, I spent days working on this. This design took me ages to make, but I am very happy with it. So I think that's where we're going to have to end today's video with my double rabbit stew and cool crafting system. Don't forget to watch the other video that will go into more detail on some parts of this crafter and show you another crafter design. If you didn't manage to replicate this with the tutorial because of some part of it, there will also be a world download in the description which you can use. Like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified. Bye! Double rabbit stew.